The ultimate guide to Brazil Digital Nomad Visa and Residency in 2026. Hello, I'm Luciano Oliveira, Managing Partner at Oliveira Lawyers. If you want to live in Brazil while keeping your foreign job or clients, this is your all-in-one crash course on Brazil's Digital Nomad Visa and Residency for 2026. Quick orientation before we start. This video is long, very long by design. It is the ultimate guide. I do recommend you spend this half an hour if the Digital Nomad Visa is really in your plans for Brazil. But you can also jump to any chapter in the description to find exactly what you need. So if you want a complete A to Z understanding, stay with me and we'll go step by step so you can plan your move with confidence. What is Brazil Digital Nomad Track? Brazil has a specific immigration track for digital nomads. It covers both a temporary visa issue abroad, often called VITEM XIV, and an in-country residency authorization that you can request if you are already in Brazil as a visitor. A digital nomad here means a person who can perform their work remotely in Brazil using technology and who's paid by a foreign employer or foreign clients. That part is essential. This track is not for people who intended to work for a Brazilian employer or receive a Brazilian-sourced pay. If your income is from a foreign company or foreign clients and you can do your work online from anywhere, you are pointing in the right direction. The authorization is granted for up to 1 year initially, and it can be renewed for an equal period when you continue to meet the requirements. Many people think of this as a 2-year window to experience Brazil while keeping their international work life running smoothly. Who qualifies and what is the money test? There are 3 pillars. First, your work must be foreign sourced. Your employer or your clients pay you from outside Brazil. Second, your work is fully remote. You will include a short statement confirming that you can perform your work remotely using information and communication technology. Third, you meet the money test. You either show at least $1,500 per month in income from a foreign payer, or you show at least $18,000 in available funds in a bank account. You can qualify by meeting either the income requirement or the savings requirement. To prove this, you should be ready with employment letters or service contracts and invoices that show the foreign payers, plus bank statements reflecting the income or the savings balance. Clear, organized proof makes a big difference. Of course, there are other requirements such as a clean background check, but these 3 we just saw are those specific to the digital nomad track. 2 pathways: apply in Brazil or apply abroad. Now let's talk strategy, because Brazil gives you 2 legal avenues. Path 1 is applying while you are already in Brazil. This is an application for a residency authorization through the Ministry of Justice online system. If you're visiting Brazil, you can file your digital nomad residency request from inside the country. Once it is approved, you register with the Brazilian Federal Police to get your foreigner ID card, the so-called CRNM. Path 2 is applying from abroad at a Brazilian consulate. In that route, you obtain a temporary visa before you travel. After you arrive in Brazil, you will still need to register with the Brazilian Federal Police and then receive your CRNM. Both paths are legitimate. The best choice depends on your timing, your document readiness, whether you prefer to avoid the consular logistics, and how quickly you want to be set up in Brazil. There is one important practical difference. In the consular path, health medical insurance is required, not travel insurance. In the in-country path, health insurance is not listed among the required documents. Many clients prefer the in-country strategy because it removes the need to pre-purchase a year-long policy just to get a visa, and it avoids shipping documents to a consulate and waiting on their schedule. We help clients from inside Brazil coordinate sworn translations, and schedule the federal police steps so the transition is as smooth as possible. Documents you need side by side. Let me give you the standard checklists. Keep in mind there are two versions, one for the consulate when you apply abroad, and another for the in-country residence authorization. We are also calling standard because they may change over time and depending on the immigration officer in charge of your case. For the consular visa, the VITEM XIV, you should expect to present at least a valid passport, visa application form, proof of transportation for your entry into Brazil, proof of payment of the consular fee, health insurance valid in Brazil, a criminal record certificate from your country of residency or origin as directed by the consulate, and documents proving your digital nomad status. Those proof documents may include your employment contract, service contracts, or a declaration from your employer confirming the information sought by the Brazilian immigration. The $1,500 per month or the $18,000 in available funds. For the in-country residence authorization, the one you file while you're visiting Brazil, you should prepare the official residency authorization request form signed by you or your representative, your valid passport or other identity document, a document showing your filiação, your parentage data, which must be legalized and translated by a sworn translator in Brazil if it is not already on your passport, typically an apostilled birth certificate, a power of attorney authorizing your attorney to file on your behalf, proof of payment of the government processing fee, criminal record certificates from the places you lived in for the last 5 years, a self-declaration that you have no criminal convictions in any country in the last 5 years, and again, the digital nomad proof package, your employment contract, service contracts, or a declaration from your employer confirming the information sought by the Brazilian immigration, and your income or savings evidence meeting the $1,500 or $18,000 thresholds. A note on documents issued abroad. Brazil generally requires foreign documents to be apostilled or legalized and then translated into Portuguese by a sworn translator in Brazil. Even apostilled documents typically still need a sworn translation in Brazil to be valid for government use. We'll guide you on exactly which documents require apostille and which need sworn translations so you don't over-translate and you don't under-prepare. Step by step if you apply inside Brazil. Here's how the in-country path plays out in practice. Step 1. Assemble your evidence. That includes your work paperwork, bank statements or other financial proof, your identity documents, your parentage document, your background certificates for the last 5 years, and sworn translations where needed. This could take a month or more depending on your parentage document and other specifics. Step 2. File your request through the Ministry of Justice online system. We handle the government fee payments and the online forms. You will receive a digital protocol. We usually get this done shortly after you provided the documents from step 1. Step 3. Your case is analyzed in up to 2 months. During this phase, we track the file, respond to any requests for additional documents, and plan your next steps. If you need to travel, coordinate with us in advance to make sure you maintain a valid entry document and don't miss any deadlines. Step 4. Approval is published. From the date the approval is published, you have 30 days to register with the federal police and apply for your CRNM ID card. We book the appointment, prepare your registration file, and make sure you meet the timeline. In São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and Brasilia, we actually go with you to the appointment. Step 5. Pick up your CRNM. Card issuance timing varies by city. Once you have your CRNM, life in Brazil gets much easier. Banking, contracts, utilities, and other logistics usually require this very specific ID. Step by step if you apply at a consulate. If you prefer the consular path, the flow is slightly different. First, you will submit your digital nomad visa application at the Brazilian consulate, that has jurisdiction over your place of residence. You cannot pick the one you like. Follow the consulate's checklist closely. Each consulate may fine-tune how they want the documents arranged and presented, and even the requirements may vary slightly. Remember, in the consular path, health insurance valid in Brazil is a must. Once the visa is issued, you travel to Brazil. After you enter, you must register with the federal police within 90 days of your entry to apply for your CRNM. Bring your documents and keep your consular visa paperwork organized. Apostilled birth certificate may be requested. Once registered, you wait for your card issuance just like the in-country path. We also assist with applications via Brazilian consulates in the US and other countries. Timelines and expectations. How long does this take? The biggest variables are document readiness, especially birth certificate, apostilles, and sworn translations, and government processing. The in-country system has become more predictable, but each case is unique. Our practical advice is start your document gathering early, especially background checks and apostilles. Keep your travel plans flexible and don't wait until the last week of your visitor stay to file your case. Document gathering will take typically between 30 to 60 days, approval 30 days at the consulate and 60 days while physically in Brazil. Registration takes another 30 days, and card will take up to 2 months to be printed and made available to you. Your CRNM ID card and your CPF. Let's unpack 2 acronyms you will hear a lot: CRNM and CPF. The CRNM, or just RNM, is your National Migration Registration Card, your foreigner ID in Brazil. You obtain it after registering with the federal police, either because you entered with a visa and registered within 90 days, or because your in-country residence was approved and you registered within 30 days of publication. Keep this card safe. It is the document you use for your daily life in Brazil. The CPF is your taxpayer identification number. Foreigners can obtain a CPF even if they are not residents yet. You can request it through the Receita Federal in Brazil or at a Brazilian consulate abroad. Many digital nomads get a CPF early because banks, property managers, and certain service providers ask for it. If you're working with us, we'll help you plan the right moment to request your CPF so your banking and life admin are not delayed. Renewals, travel, and switching status later. The digital nomad residency is initially granted for up to 1 year and can be renewed for an equal period when you continue to meet the requirements, meaning your foreign sourced work and your income or savings threshold. If you think you may travel while your request or your renewal is pending, talk to us first. Your entry document must always match your nationality's requirements at the time you travel, and you must not miss your registration or renewal window. We'll help you plan travel so your process is not disrupted. Can you switch status later? Yes. Many clients use the digital nomad period to explore longer-term options that better match their personal or business plans, such as marriage-based residence, investor routes, or employment categories. When time comes, we will evaluate your goals and the current rules to suggest the cleanest path forward. Family members, how do they fit in? Family members usually don't ride on your digital nomad application. Instead, they have their own track, commonly the family reunion visa and residence. Their route is based on the family relationship to the main applicant or to a Brazilian national and requires documents proving the relationship, such as marriage certificates or birth certificates, and in certain cases, proof of financial dependency. Those documents typically need apostille or legalization and sworn translation in Brazil. If you plan to bring your spouse or children, let's coordinate both tracks together so your family's timeline is synchronized. What's new and what to watch in 2026? A key practical change concerns visitors from the United States, Canada, and Australia. Brazil reinstated the visitor visa requirement for those nationalities with an e-visa process. That's a visitor document, not the digital nomad residence. If you are from the US, Canada, or Australia, plan your entries accordingly. You will still use the digital nomad track if your goal is to live in Brazil and work for a foreign employer or clients. If you are from the UK or many other European countries, you may still be visa exempt for tourism up to 90 days per period defined by the rules for your nationality. You can still apply for the digital nomad residence if you want to stay beyond the visitor window or if you want the rights that come with lawful residence, like obtaining the CRNM. And a reminder for everyone, tourist stays are generally 90 days with a possible extension of up to another 90 days when allowed for your nationality, within the overall visitor limit of 180 days per year. This one is a hard limit and not flexible. That is a different regime from the digital nomad residency. Don't confuse the two. A quick practical note on taxes, informational only. This is not tax advice, but you should at least be aware of the day count rule that Brazil uses for tax residency. Generally, if you complete 184 days of physical presence in Brazil within any rolling 12-month period, you are treated as a Brazilian tax resident. If you do not complete 184 days within any 12-month window, you are generally treated as a non-resident during that time. Different countries have tax treaties with Brazil that can affect how certain income is taxed, and the United States does not have currently an income tax treaty with Brazil. If you're subject to US tax, there is a separate Social Security totalization agreement between the US and Brazil that coordinates Social Security contributions, but it is not an income tax treaty. For the specifics of your case, speak with a qualified tax professional in your home country and in Brazil. There are other tax triggers, such as when you secure permanent residency, which makes you become a tax resident on the spot, no matter if you've been in Brazil for just a single month, for instance. Top 5 Brazilian digital nomad hotspots. If you're wondering where digital nomads actually settle, here are 5 excellent options to explore. Florianópolis in Santa Catarina, often called Floripa, blends beaches with a strong tech and co-working culture. It's a long-standing favorite with a friendly remote work community. Rio de Janeiro is iconic and increasingly nomad-friendly, with more co-working spaces and communities each year. The lifestyle is world-class, just pair it with smart, big city safety habits. São Paulo is Brazil's business engine. If you want the densest array of co-working spaces, cafes, meetups, and international neighborhoods, São Paulo delivers, with areas like Pinheiros and Itaim repeatedly chosen by remote workers. Recife in Pernambuco offers beaches plus a thriving innovation district known as Porto Digital. If you are a founder or creative, Recife combines ecosystem and lifestyle in a compelling way. Fortaleza in Ceará is a vibrant coastal capital with great connectivity, kite surfing season, and growing digital communities. It's a strong alternative for those who want warm water, steady sun, and a more relaxed rhythm. Wherever you land, we will advise on neighborhood choices, CRNM logistics, and practical housing considerations. The 7 most common mistakes when applying to the Brazil Digital Nomad Visa or Residency. Let's rapid fire the 7 mistakes we see most often and 1 bonus so you can avoid headaches from day 1. Mistake 1, not allocating enough time. Don't bank on a 30-day review. Real-world processing is often closer to 50 days, and that's before you account for gathering apostilles and sworn translations or responding to requests for additional documents. Plan for 3 to 5 months end to end so you're not forced into risky last-minute moves. Mistake 2, Ignoring customarily enforced requirements. The birth certificate trips up more applicants than anything else. If your passport doesn't list your parents' names, which is most passports, you will need a birth certificate apostilled in your country of origin and sworn translated in Brazil. In non-apostille countries like the United Emirates, you must legalize at a Brazilian consulate, which is going to add even more time to the count. A scanned copy can work for filing, but bring the original to your registration in Brazil. Mistake 3. Applying abroad when applying in Brazil would be better. Consulates require health insurance valid in Brazil, and plans that truly cover Brazil can cost sometimes thousands of dollars per year. You don't need this insurance when you are applying inside of Brazil. Also, law firms cannot lodge your case on your behalf at a consulate, but we can file it for you in Brazil, a major time and stress saver. Mistake 4. Waiting until the last minute. Don't try to file on day 89 of your 90-day visit. Processing can take months, and overshooting headlines risks fines and even removal. The diligent approach is to apply as early as possible. Many clients even start before flying to Brazil. Mistake 5. Not presenting proper work evidence. Founders often submit company formation papers instead of a clear employment or services contract. That creates confusion. Draft a real contract between you and your foreign company that reflects genuine pay and duties. It lets analysts check the digital nomad work box quicker. Mistake 6. Skipping or delaying federal police registration. Approval isn't the finish line. You must register with the federal police to get your CRNM and to remain lawfully in Brazil for the duration of your residence. Treat this as a top priority and target within 30 days, ideally as soon as you can get an appointment. Mistake 7. Not using professional help. Requirements are interpreted in ways that aren't always intuitive for first-timers. Even when cases aren't denied, a please correct and resubmit can send you back months. If Brazil matters to you, don't wing it. At a minimum, book one consultation to pressure test your plan. Bonus mistake: not knowing what you don't know. A successful in-Brazil application includes a lot of moving parts. Even when you have access to a thorough walkthrough like this one, it is just natural that you don't know or don't realize all the steps and minutiae involved. Having a professional quarterback these steps prevents costly do-overs. How we help and what to do next. At Oliveira Lawyers, we help you make your digital nomad visa or residency application in Brazil as smooth as possible. We help you choose the right path, in-country residence or consular visa, prepare and file your online application, coordinate apostilles and sworn translations, schedule and prepare you for the federal police registration, plan renewals, and run family member cases in parallel so everyone lands smoothly. If you are ready to move forward, you can book a consultation with our team, download our free checklist, the 7 main mistakes to avoid when applying for the Brazil Digital Nomad Visa, or use both. They will save you time and prevent expensive do-overs. Thank you for watching. I'm Luciano Oliveira with Oliveira Lawyers, and I look forward to help you make Brazil your home base. Disclaimer: this video is for information only and it's not legal or tax advice. We do recommend you to secure professional help when applying for the Digital Nomad Visa or Residency in Brazil. Thank you for watching, and I see you in our next video.